Oh, hey, get drinks. Hey, get drinks. Drink. Factories are idle. Yes, I'm very aware of that. The whole point was to forgot about it. Well, it's my TikTok. What's up, Gabriel? Been seeing you've been posting a lot to. You low-key have a game today. Oh. What's a are you gonna enter stealth mode and get onto the field or something? I know it's just a phrase, it doesn't mean anything. To me, low-key is like on the down low, like you're trying to be subtle about it. I'm like, why? You're having a fucking football game. You should be high key, amped up, listen to fucking heavy metal. That's what's on the menu. Maybe some deep fried stuff later, but my whole week has been thrown off. So we wound up going to our burrito place before here and ate that because I have a scrimmage tomorrow, as you probably saw on my Instagram story. So I didn't want to eat too late. It's just the whole schedule's been thrown off. So yeah, like there may be snacky stuff later, but nothing full of food. I'm just not hungry now. I need to hydrate, get some Kokoswater. Still don't know what happened to this Brazilian brand. Now everything comes out of Southeast Asia. Like that Brazilian brand was great. I mean, it was just it was the stupidest named brand. It was Obrigado, but still, it was like imported from Brazil. It was the sweetest freaking coconut water I've ever drank in my life. Of course, our Australian on-the-go breakfast kind of went away too, so that's weird. I think there was a shipping issue with Corona or something. Got laundry going right now because I've had gear that's in practice mode for 3 practices. I'm edging more into the hard hit. But it's hard to not be technical. We have some non-technical guys that are definitely more hit than technical, but like we have guys that just like learn the playbook, but are like, nah, I'm just going to do this. They don't really, but I know like the playbook. I know where the D line is stunting, all that jazz. I know which hole I'm supposed to go in. No, but I do hit hard. I mean, that's the one thing, Diego was saying. He's like, well, yeah, you didn't really fall down, didn't pancake you. I'm like, I know. There's a couple times even I knocked you backwards. Diego's 110 kilos. Partially why my shoulder and collarbone area probably feels a little sore today. Not because of what we were doing today at practice. They were already feeling a bit sore, but that was from Thursday. Late night practice. So I guess to answer the question, which is very binary, how's the weather today? The English term is overcast. There's daylight, but no defined shadows. The whole sky is gray. There's no actual defined clouds. There's no defined shadows on the ground. There's no direct sunlight. I don't know if that helps. It's very bright because the sun is setting that way. But tomorrow is going to be very bright. It reminds me, I need to check that. Oh my God, stop. I'm just so tired. Oh yeah, it's going to be like 23 fucking degrees tomorrow. Are you qualifying that as partially cloudy? Low chance of precipitation. When? It says 20%. There's not even a drop on any of the hours. Yeah. But yeah, the weather today is okay. Fucking Jesus. I don't know if I'm going to last this whole live stream. Like I was laying in the bed using the massager on my upper body and the burny ass quad just to get things shaken up. And I almost passed out. That's why I kept vibrating, is because I had to think about it for a long time. Aaron's out here listening like, well, that thing's going for a long time and he probably really needs it. I'm like, no, if I stop, I'll probably pass out.
And I'm the other way. If I'd been using that massage gun that long, I would have passed out.
Yeah. Yep, Helm's Home Fighting Pirates. Oh, wow, the home team actually scored 7 points.
Yay!
Nice weather without the smoke. The sunshine is calling my name. I hope you're well. I'm very tired. It has been 8 minutes on this live stream and I've yawned 4 times. My hair is all derpy because I came home from practice and I took a shower. So like nothing's able to stand up very well. I can get it a little bit, but then it just like relaxes back down to this, what the haircut actually looks like. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing it. I'm yawning. Yeah. I'm sending them to Aaron and I'm sending them across the globe right now because I'm just yawning so much. Saw a TikTok about back in like the 1800s. I think, is that when the Irish famine was happening?
I don't know.
Regardless, it was back in the 1800s. The Irish were having a problem with like their entire country, and that's why I was thinking it was the famine. Oh, well, that was in the 1700s. That was actually before the United States was founded. Huh. Anyways, but it was like in the 1800s, and the Cherokee, the Choctaw Indians actually raised money to send to Ireland because they were being oppressed by the British and all that jazz. And this was like in the middle of like, you know, all of the terrible things that were going on with the Indians at that time. Do I prefer going to a beach or having marshmallows in a fire pit? That's not a preference because you can just have marshmallows in a fire pit at the beach.
Yeah.
Now, finding wood around here to put on a beach might be a bit difficult. You'd have to bring it with you. But I will take, if I have to choose, I will take the marshmallows over anything. Matt's other Matt's here. Drinking my coconut water. Was it the Choctaw? Can't even spell. Prius. What kind of car do you like the most? Prius. It was the last car I owned, and it was like weird. I was like the only one I had, like the only real car I had horrible pride in. I liked the minivan, but they're not really made anymore.
Cook and bake? No, anyway. Stop. I wanted.
But yeah, especially the newer Priuses. Like I'm keen on the Teslas because they're long range electric vehicles, but they're like kind of the only kind. So I'd much rather, like right now, rather have a like a hybrid car. If it was plug-in hybrid, that might be better because then it's like 75% electric.
In 1848, despite having almost.
Yeah, it was 1848. The Choctaw Indians raised. And it sounds stupid, but they raised like $200 to help the Irish during their struggles at that point. They may have been having another famine because it said one of the hashtag series famine, but in the process, and so the Irish actually have like a statue that's feathers devoted to that help. Like we didn't have anything. In fact, the United States was in the process of genocide against, the Trail of Tears and all that stuff. And they still raised money to send to go help Ireland. So most recently, when the government wasn't doing anything to help any minority during Corona time, the Irish raised.
Nothing. Fast forward to 2020, when Ireland found out that Indigenous tribes and the Choctaw Nation were abandoned by Donald Trump and his administration. We raised over $7 million and sent it to them so that they could buy PPE and COVID materials. The Irish will never forget their generosity, and we will forever be tied to the Choctaw Nation and Indigenous peoples in the USA.
Yeah. Like $7 million to an Indian reservation in Oklahoma.
That's big.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm 40 years old. I know when people are like, hey, can you say this? And it's quasi in another language, especially when it involves the last name of a controversial political leader. I'm going to Google what the other word is. I'm not going to have anybody be able to record myself saying something stupid. I use an Android. I'm taking a wild guess that the translation of that basically says "Get out, Bolsonaro." It's a really weird. Doesn't translate actually very well. But I'm also looking at Portuguese, and Brazil may have a slight dialect. Obviously, they do. They're a whole country across an ocean.
Yeah.
England and America are mutually intelligible, but sometimes the slang is a bit off. So when there's connotations I don't understand, I go to Twitter and I search that term. Because it's most likely a hashtag. Yeah. I mean, I totally understand that that dude is not the greatest of rulers for Brazil. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever like enjoy using iOS. I know way too much BS about it.
Sure thing.
Too much. We're destroying the world and killing the turtles. The hell with the turtles. No one insults the turtle.
People say food tastes like cardboard. It is not a good thing. You just ruined this tortilla and then made all your other food soggy by dumping gravy on it. And then you made a bowl just to cut it in half. What was the point? Stop. People say food tastes like cardboard. It is not a good thing. Use 42.
Fine, Henry.
Joker, that's bad. Do you think? Apparently 1 in 3 people are stoned right now.
Oh my god. I don't think the food coma is helping the giant burrito in my belly.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, Michael, I literally just like my eyes started closing when I started yawning and I saw your thing. Sorry, hello. Like, I was looking at Gabriel's last thing, Android or iOS, and I just started yawning, and then all of a sudden, blink, and I'm like, "Eh." I didn't even know what it said because I was so squinty. And no, I have not partaken in the. I looked at myself in the screen and tried to catch myself. I look like I've partaken in the Amsterdam Pride, if you know what I mean, Aaron. I look so blitzed right now, and I'm not. I'm just. I haven't slept right in my practice game was just today. We have a scrimmage tomorrow against the Amsterdam Crusaders. So I will be drinking, and I'm probably not gonna let this thing slide too terribly far. Last week was because we didn't have a practice because the crew or the Dutch Lions tryout, but now it's like I have to be out at Sport Park Sloten by like 12:30, although being there at exactly 12:30 is not super critical. How'd your practice game go? At least it's just a practice game. You can take all those mistakes, you can learn from them, and go win the next one. But like, I'm not too like. Actual game is tomorrow. Wow. So you're like me. You're gonna successive football games is just super hard to do. So you're gonna be like me, because I had like I understand that like high schoolers have their they have football practice like 5 days a week. And I'm like, bro, I'm sitting here with like 3 practices this week and I got a scrimmage tomorrow and I don't know what to do. But like a good number of our players, well, only one of them, but Indianapolis Colts. Hello, Olga. Jesus Christ. Just stop yawning. But we've had like I would be even worse right now if I was able to get to practice on Thursday and then had 2 successive days of Dutch Lions tryouts and then Tuesday practice, Thursday practice, and today's practice. Like I understand that some people haven't come to like all of our practices this week, especially if they were at the Dutch Lions tryout. Um, Did I get an eyelash in there? Kind of burny right now. More water. Unless I got some hot sauce in there. That's my dumbass. Oh, I'll just have to wait. Oh, yeah. Probably did. Because this was the hand the burrito was leaking all over. So if there's a little bit on my skin, especially down at my palm area, yeah. Fuck it. Who is watching this? You? Michael? Olga? Lots of things. 4 people, apparently. I'm just saying hi to folks. But I am stupidly dead-ass tired. And this will keep me awake so I don't like sleep too long or sleep and then wake up early and whatnot. Keeps me on schedule. I don't want to do 3 nice throws in a row. I hate that. There's so many of the quests this time that are like, do curveball throws in a row, do nice throws in a row, do great curveball throws in a row. And I'm like, what is this, like making sure you do everything the same way every single time? Panthers. No lies detected. I'm taking, well, I guess you mean NFL team. I don't really have. I mean, you could ask other leagues or even other sports, but meh. Two Austrian teams are joining the ELF next season. Nice. Ooh. Gentlemen, we will not get together at the club tomorrow. If you need a ride, post it here to organize it. Someone actually looked at me on Thursday, like, are you going to come out to the club? I'm going to go all the way from Amsterdam to Hilversum to get a ride back to Amsterdam. I'm like, all right. Because they all know I take, public transport, but sometimes they forget I come all the way from Amsterdam. Meeting at Sloten at 12:30. Mm-hmm. Wiggle. Train station 2. Six blue steam. Yeah, that one looks right. I don't want to have to send a second train next time. So I have 21 left, and my trains are 20, 20, and 17. So I just upgraded one of them to 21. So I can only send one train next time. The sounds of reversing trucks. The sounds of reversing trucks.
On the way to work this morning, I stopped by a Galaxy, as one does when trying to the rest of them, they are waking out somewhat alive and functioning. And they handed me my cup, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is so cute." And I was like, "What? What's cute? What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Your hands, they're so cute, they're small, they're just adorable." And I was like,
What you're about to see is one of the most haunted streets in Amsterdam. No one has ever seen this footage before. This footage might be shocking to some viewers. It appears to be a regular Dutch street until you look into the trees and see the ghost that has haunted the streets for the last 100 years. What you're about to see.
Serious fat bitch on. Are we just not going to talk about deep state Daryl, the fake news badger? Okay, so King Denny Muffin Von Clorox, the tiny handed fascist, had himself an emotional sport around where he riled up all these terrorists and they attacked the Capitol. Was it also advertised as a cosplay event? Because I have seen people dressed up as human garbage cans and Jack Skellington and Beetlejuice, and then we got QAnon shaman that looks like a rodeo clown mated with my Aunt Edith's old fox coat. And now we've got deep state Daryl the fake news badger. Screaming about the mayor.
Oh, now there's starting to be some sun out as it gets closer to the horizon.
That condom in? I think it is.
pseudo lightsaber fights.
Whoa, is that glow in the dark condom in?
And the computer crashed. It wasn't Windows 10, it wasn't Windows 8, it wasn't Windows 7, it wasn't Windows XP. It was freaking Windows 98 or 95. We put our credit cards in these things. So the self-checkouts at Walmart are just regular computers.
I don't understand why people think that they're not regular computers.
Me neither.
Like,
Absurd. Like, what else would they be?
Like, at least it's so much more, it's so much better, you know, when people are like, oh yeah, let me just pop this up on the iPad, and they flip this around, and like their point of sale system is just an app. You know, but I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And that's what it is with at Hilversum in the canteen. Sometimes she has problems with the iPad. It's being really slow, or it doesn't have the connection or something. Starting to quasi wonder if I was able to get DMs on TikTok from non-friends. It was weird because people were like, I get DM'd all the time. You guys are sending me a lot of DMs. And I'm like, I don't even have an option to say manage account. Is it privacy? I don't know. Maybe it's under creator tools, creator portal. Oh no, it's under security way at the bottom. Help center, safety center. Oh no, that's something else. Accessibility, content preferences. But like the thing is I checked and it was like I can't. Oh, yeah, security and login, privacy. Yeah, I don't have an option to let anybody DM me. Direct messages. Friends or no one. Like, and I'm like,
It's possible you need to have a different kind of account, like a creator account or a celebrity account or a whatever.
Yeah, I know. It maybe a personal account because I moved it up to creator account to be able to pair YouTube to it. So I don't know. It's weird, but I don't. You know, I can't be DM'd, and even if there is, like, it won't immediately show up for me, like as my notifications. There's no like spam folder for it. And I'm just like, okay. But like, I cannot imagine though if I was able to get, you know, spam messages because one of my videos apparently went crazy in Southeast Asia. I say one of my videos, the Homo Monument video went crazy in Southeast Asia. I only know this because a few people ventured into my Instagram and sent me direct messages. Marry me, long time, give me residency. I'm like, I'm not a Dutch citizen, but you live in Amsterdam. I'm not a Dutch citizen. You would be a US citizen. And then they say bad America and then block me. I'm like, well, okay. But like, I can't imagine how many people on TikTok would have messaged me the exact same thing. And I'm like, yeah, just makes me kind of wonder. It harkens back to, you know, college, high school times, you know, with the little sucky sort of thing. I'm like, that's a thing? Like, they'll just whole ass, you know, but then it like, I wonder how deep you can get into that. Like if you entertained it for a little while, but they'd want you to absolutely pay for everything, like them getting here, them getting this, them doing that, because they're basically poor and destitute and will do anything, but they can't do anything about their current situation. Yeah. Or something. I'm like, ugh. But because I live in the Netherlands, there's probably a lot of ex-colony people that are like, we're living in destitute conditions. I know I've had somebody demand reparations to their family. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm American. But you live in Amsterdam, pay reparations. I'm like, I'm American. I'm already doing that to 90 other minorities. I don't have time for yours. To which that person that blocked me, I'm like, man.
I mean, on the plus side, at least they're blocking you.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to go through the actual process of unblocking me to, you know, beg me for stuff I can't give them. Win my football. Win, win my football game. You did? You won your football game? I've gotta think about more what I read before I read it. What was the point difference? Also, who did you play? Ugh, I'm so sick of the Heisman Trophy. They're gonna have such a thing as the Heisman Trophy. They should really, you know, start putting out trophies for other very specialized positions, for like kickers and punters, as well as quarterbacks. You played Warner. So, would you guys like? Did you beat them badly, or was it like a narrow game, close in points, like whatnot, or? Oh, forgive me, I'm yawning a lot. My eyes probably look so fucking red right now.
No.
No, they feel warm. You beat them very badly, yeah. I'm not sure how our scrimmage is going to go tomorrow. We've got some people that are just wiped out. I'm probably going to sleep super good tonight, but I've got some soreness in some weird places. Thankfully, it's not going to be too many plays in a row, but that's just also a game. Also, from what I understand, crew isn't what they used to be. Huh. But it's definitely going to be weird to be on a. Like, I almost want to wear my blue cleats tomorrow just so I can clean them. It's going to be on turf. I mean, they're not like super icky, but it's still. Do you guys have like the. I know some places have like a mercy rule where you can't score over the difference can't be too far. There the youth leagues in like the Beaverton area was 35 points. So I'm not sure if that applies elsewhere. I just know that it happened at that. Middle linebacker. And specifically Mike linebacker, but I know in certain defensive formations there are two of them, but in mine I'm the Mike linebacker. No, you said so in the comments, Stream. I had forgotten which of my videos was going up on the 22nd, so I didn't say anything. I mean, I said something in the comments, but it was 3 days ago. Was I?
I mean, this week you had a 50-50 chance of being out of practice that day.
Yeah, it was Wednesday. That was not a. That was the day I went for a walk around the island. Yesterday, I went a walk to another island and saw a giant party ship. Well, everyone's got to play something on defense if you're going to be on 3 positions on offense. Like, I could probably. Here we go again. I could probably do something on offense, but we've got enough people. We're usually hurting for defensive members. Well, naturally, you would have, you got to have your birthday party on the weekend. You're not going to have it during the middle of the week. I mean, maybe there's like a cupcake party at school, but even then, with all the allergies and diseases rolling around, I'm not sure if that can happen. Um, 181 centimeters or 5'11". Since I've been living in Europe, I now have to. I start everything with metric unless I know exactly who I'm talking to. 13, you're going to be 14 and you're 6'1". Well, you blew up fast. Have you considered basketball? That's a tall family to have a 12-year-old at 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Even the Dutch don't do that. What's up, Roblox dancer? You play basketball. Naturally. I mean, you should. I mean, you're taller than me and basically U13, U13. Basketball, like nobody. Like I'm kind of half convinced that you got, misaged. I've done 4 of them, Roblox dancer. What color was the uniform? Green, white, shiny blue, or dark royal blue? Yeah, okay, that was the first one. That's most likely what you saw. That's why I said green first. Because in order of views, that's what those go in. Because I did that first one, and then I saw, oh my God, that one's popular. Let's do a second one, see if we can milk this cow. So I did the away uniform for that same team. And then when I joined another team that did not last very well, it was a pretty crap team to begin with, I did for that uniform. And then I did one with my practice gear here because I realized the last 3 videos from 2016 didn't actually explain anything. So that's why I did a new one as a linebacker with my linebacker gear to help my European friends who are like, I want to play the sport, but I don't know anything about it. I'm like, well, let's explain all the gear and how to put it on. You need help catching a football. I know you do the diamond hand. I would say just grab a football, throw it straight up in the air, and then catch it. Hold your hands up and catch it with your little diamond and whatnot. That is literally just what a football is. It's going to be hard and it's going to be fast. If anything, like I said, throwing it up really high in the air, but make sure you get a good spiral on it because you're going to get a spiral from the quarterback, and make sure you catch it with that diamond. You joined football team Tuesday. Yeah, it is going to be fast, but you'll learn to catch it. Do not alligator hands it. We had a stand-in cornerback today, and he was going for an interception or reached out and tried to gator hands the ball, and I was like, what do you do for a backup quarterback? But if you're going to regular practices and you're young, yeah, Brody, I see you're 9. That your coaches will teach you how to do it. But if you have a football at home, like even if it's a cruddy little Nerf ball that's like foam, as long as it has that shape, just throw it straight up in the air and wait for it to come back down and catch it. Plus, if it moves up in the air because you don't throw it straight up, you'll have to get your hand-eye coordination on the ball. It's simple and easy to do. It's not the magic end all be all, but you'll get used to, but try to be underneath it because you don't want to catch it way out here. You want to be catching it like this. And when you're underneath it, you have the idea, I want to protect my face from getting hit. So when the ball comes in, you catch it like that. And don't catch it here. Don't catch it with your palms. Catch it with like your fingers and cushion it in like you're catching an egg. And you don't want it to crack. I was never good at it. I play defense because I'm not good at catching. So I'm giving you basic advice I've learned. Yeah, Brody's 9, you're 13. Yeah, with 13, you could spend a whole 2 years learning. You could spend a whole 2 years learning how to catch a football. Like I've seen our youth guys who are like 15, 16 years old. They just started playing football, well, before Corona. But they're already making massive improvements. Probably because they also go and hang out with themselves and like throw the football around. But even at practice, they're getting pretty good at the catching. And their quarterback is getting super good at throwing. In fact, during Thursday's practice, they were over in another small section. Like we had to pause momentarily, and their coach, which is our starting quarterback, had to yell to them, "Youngins, team plays!" And so it was just 10 more plays before, hey, you guys got to get suited up and get home because you have homework to do. So they did 10 plays and they helped clean up the field and stuff. But they were just doing the little easy ups because they only play like 7-man, something like that. They have like the center, the quarterback, 4 receivers, I think. That's 6. They may have a running back. I'm not sure exactly how many they run, but it's not a full team because it's not a popular sport here. But it's full contact. They wear pads and helmet and they will tackle each other to the ground. I've seen our youth guys. I've watched their games. Like the guy will come in, like they're running across the thing and like catches the ball. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So yeah, I have a picture. Maybe I have a picture of them from the before times. July, there. Oh no, that's from our scrimmage with the West Frisian Outlaws. Did they even have a game that year? Oh no, we're already well, so I have to go back to 2019. But yeah, like their center has gained a good chunk of weight. I talked to him at practice, but YouTube rules and stuff, I try not to put him on there much because awkward. Oh yeah, see here they are. I know the camera's not very good at seeing them, but that's actually one of our defensive backs, and that's all of our team. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them there, but he has a silver helmet because he actually comes from another city. He comes from one called Groningen, but he's too young to play with their youth team because they're like 17, 18 or 16, 17, and he's 14, so he plays with us. Yeah. What I find absolutely stupid is we do not have youth uniforms. So when I see this guy wearing my jersey, I'm like, am I really that big? When I'm fucking 16-year-olds wearing my same jersey, look at this hair. Of course, it's a damn tent on him. I mean, obviously, he's not wearing, the exact same pants. We don't own the same pants. But yeah, here I am in that jersey. I look so big in it. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? No, I play in the Netherlands. I play in Europe. Yeah. It always throws people off a little bit when they hear that. They're like, wait, what? It's a very noble goal. You should do it. As long as you have a dream and you pursue it, that is what matters. Well, unless you achieve them. It's okay to let go of your dreams once you achieve it. Then you need to find another one. But it's the idea of moving forward. Go ahead and ask. That's going to get into some science. I can answer it, but that's going to get into science. So there are things in the body called muscles. We're starting out very basic here. And we're going to use a diagram with my fingers. So when your muscles, they usually sit like this. And when you run in any fashion or move, your muscles basically do. That's when you tense a muscle. They basically slide along each other and squeeze together. That's what doing that is. You know, you got a flat one and like that. The muscle is squeezing together. So here's the thing. When you're pushing with your leg and you're running, like, I don't know what's sore, but we're going to go with like the front part of your legs, your quadriceps. When you're doing that, you're relaxing your legs and your whole weight is trying to straighten your knee at the same time and push you forward. So when that happens, this muscle is in a relaxed, stretched position, because this is really crappy, but this is knee, this is your hip, this is your long part of your leg. So you're running like this, and suddenly that needs to happen. So you're pushing against gravity to extend your leg and your body weight. So your muscle is going, it's doing a lot to pull itself together. In the process of that, now, when you're doing strength training, you're doing the same thing. Your muscle is fully extended, and then you push, and you're straining to pull it together. In the process of doing that, several of these little things go, and they break. That's how the body works. Don't fear that. That's how it works. Your body is breaking these things to get things to work together better. Sound, yeah. It's not what it sounds like. Maybe it does if you're to get really small and get inside your muscle, but that's what it is. Your muscles are physically breaking at a very small level. Then your body's like, I've been damaged. And it sends out your repair mechanisms. And with your repair mechanisms, your body creates a lot of waste product, because much like when you drink a lot of water or you drink a lot of soda, you gotta pee. So when you break down stuff and your body's like, boosh, repair chemicals, waste is get removed. One of those things is called lactic acid. That kind of burns your muscles a little bit. It's acid. So that's part of the soreness. Yes, when you drink lots of water or coconut water, it helps flush your system a little bit easier. But your muscles are still sore because they are actively damaged. Just because you don't have sore muscles doesn't mean you didn't work them. Doesn't even mean you didn't work them good. It just means that either one, your pain tolerance is going up, or two, you just you're used to that pain. So if this sounds right, you train these things here really hurt. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, the intensifier for that one is nice, but the thing is, the idea is you're breaking your muscles as they're trying to pull their corresponding parts together. Like this. This is pulling past and right here. It attaches in right there and pulls that in. So think it's pulling. Now, if I had like, if I had like a receiver or a running back in my hand and I'm trying to pull and they're trying to push that way, this thing is getting under tension. So not only is it trying to pull itself together, it's also being pulled back apart by the running back. So it gets even more damaged. It will hurt. You've done damage. Protein. Don't eat you can eat a lot of protein, but eat meat, drink milk. I wouldn't suggest a protein shake at your age. It's a little overboard. But at your age, your body is really good at repairing. There's a certain time in every human's life called puberty, and the body is in super go mode. So this is like the great time for you to build up those muscles because your body's in go mode. Yeah, you're going to be sore, but it'll go away in a couple days as long as you give it the right nutrition. And there's a bunch of people out there that are going to say, oh, well, you need this kind of diet. You need this kind of diet. I don't care if you eat pepperoni sticks. It is meat. I don't care if you have a pepperoni pizza, double the pepperoni. Make that thing look like a snake skin of pepperoni. Oh, it's got a lot of fat in it. I don't care. Protein. Eat a steak. Have some tacos. Meat. If you want to maybe not gain weight, chicken. I don't eat chicken. That's just my thing. But like bacon, chicken wings, whatever sauce you want on them, burgers. Obviously you don't want to have a lot of toppings and stuff. You want to have more meat on the burger, but yeah, you want meat, and that will help recover faster. It's still going to happen, but your body will have the right fuel. Not really. Not really. Bones are a very slow grower. Like you can get a cut on your skin and it could basically heal in a week. You could tear a muscle and it may take a month because they're soft tissue. A bone, even if it's just like, fractured a little bit, and then you put it back into place and make sure you don't move it, it can take months to heal. So a glass of milk a day isn't necessarily going to give you strong bones because your bones are not growing indefinitely. They're growing in response to pressure. So having calcium and phosphorus and all those various other bone building chemicals in your body while you're putting your bones under stress, then your bones will grow. But if you sit around on a computer all day or you play the PlayStation and you drink a gallon of milk a day, you're not going to really have strong bones. You're going to have a lot of calcium in your system. So weight training, basically, put your bones, like when you're doing a chest press, not only are you trying to get your muscle up there, but this whole bone, these bones here are like trying not to break, and that helps them grow. Razor 23 says, hi, hello, what's going on? So yeah, Roblox, that's pretty much like, I didn't really study biology, but I've done enough to basically get the basics. There are people out there that understand way more, but I've studied enough to not be fooled by the people that are trying to say, oh, well, you need to do the keto diet. I'm like, the keto diet sucks. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe. That would be great. You catch all my videos. The side of your chest. You mean here? I'm not going to take my shirt off. So we're going to move my chair up a little bit so I can. So this is the bottom of the chest. I've got, linebacker. So I got little movies going on here. So like you're saying already here? Yeah. So here's the thing. The pec is a very weirdly shaped muscle. People think of it as this. Down a little bit. Okay. So people think of the chest as just this. Well, technically, it reaches to here. When you're doing, I don't know if you ever do the fly, but it goes from here and it starts here and fans out to here. So that is contracting the chest a lot. Why would the side hurt right here in your armpit? Well, that's because you may have some bad form and but when you reach and you push and you pinch that little section right there, that's part of your pec that's part of your pec muscle. So yeah. So you're putting strain on a part of your muscle that's weak. It's like a chain. If you pull a chain, the weakest link is going to get the most stress and it's going to hurt there. So that's where your growth is going to come. It does. It hurts. Like if it hurts, maybe go see a doctor. But if it's that muscle soreness and you're just sort of like, then that's muscle soreness. But you are getting close to when you go from bone to muscle, there's actually a tendon. Tendon. Yeah, ligaments connect bone to bone. So bone to muscle is called a tendon. And if your tendon and your muscle are not weaved together very well because they're just not, you can tear a little bit on the tendon part, which will take a couple weeks to heal. But that's kind of what happened with my elbow. So the biceps come across and attach here. And then, so when they pull on that. So when I was pulling on a tire, this happened and it strained that. So I had an internal. Yeah. Yes. The idea that I know of that I got taught from Willie, when you bench, is you want it to hit your nipples. You want the bar on your nipples or even a little bit lower, because that way your arm is at that 45-degree angle and the bar is right across your nipples. You don't want your bar here where it can choke you. You want it down here. And that way your arm comes forward more. You don't want to chest press here. This is bad. You want it down here with a bar coming across the thing. Razor 23. There's a shout out. Like, read your name? Yeah, it's right there. Razor 23. But whenever I get, whenever I get into the gym, because we don't have a lot of bench applied with the thing. We only have one of those in the entire gym. So I have to slide a bench underneath the bar. So I always have to get it there, and I want to make sure that my head is on the top of the thing. So I have to slide the bench around, but I put the bar all the way down on its thing so I can feel when it hits here. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's it. And then I make sure that the bench is in the right position. So when I lay back down, I'm already in the correct position. TikTok's going crazy. Yes, I am smart. By very typical American standards, I would be considered smart. But yeah. Are you super busy? It's not critical, but when you're, I want water. So when you are practicing during practice, you feel stronger than you normally do, like say at the gym, right? Or is it like you do a practice, couple days, ow, I'm sore, you go back, you feel stronger the next time? Or is because there's two mechanisms. Okay, so we'll go over both of them. The reason why you have a warm-up is because you're getting you need to get your heart rate going and make sure that the blood is flowing around your body. As you practice more and you get stronger, especially like with jamming or something against a player, you're actually getting more testosterone in your system. You're getting more endorphins. It's similar to the idea of why a mom who never, it's adrenaline, why a mom who never goes to the gym and struggles getting up and down the stairs will be able to lift a car off a baby because she gets so much adrenaline and she picks up superhuman strength. You can literally Google that. There are people that have never been in a gym really in their life. They're ridiculously out of shape, but their child's hurt. And so they just push a car off a child. And you're like, where did this happen? Like I've seen a guy run down into a ditch and pick up a helicopter. Not like Captain America pick up a helicopter, but he just lifted it enough for the person to crawl out. So that's what happens. Your adrenaline hits and you get a boost of strength. It's like supercharging. So afterwards, say your next practice, yes, you have a practice, you eat right, you have your protein, you get your carbs, you get a little bit of your fat going on, yada, yada, have all your macros. Dirty 30 is an aspiring nutritionist, so you can talk to them about that. You can go, then you go back to the next practice and you feel a little stronger. It's possibly you were. Muscle growth is very slow, but it being 13, the body is an out of control transformer. I cannot even describe that you, oh no, you probably didn't describe it. No, you probably did, but you probably also grew an inch too. It's entirely possible. Basically, it was like Autobots roll out, and like this poor 13-year-old's like, I don't know what's happening. And then suddenly they're 18 and they're like, oh shit. That's puberty. It's just 5 years of an uncontrolled Transformers roll out from, and you're just like, your body's going crazy. Like one of our youth guys was talking to me and his voice cracked. And I was like, it's okay. I understand, bro. I think we can do less. Like I said, I've seen some people do some super. Oh, I know. I'm not. I think they're in my Google Photos. Think I've scrolled. Oh, no, they're not. Because I used to have like age pictures of like what I looked like at one age, what I looked like at another age. And the difference between like 13 and 15 is disgusting. So like that Scottish mom, disgusting. I would say you probably did, but probably not nearly as much as you did, because there is the placebo effect of like, if you got 10%, if you got 1% stronger and you think you got 5% stronger, then yeah. Like, I'm not saying you didn't get stronger, but you probably think you got stronger than you actually did, because adrenaline, especially when you get hyped up about stuff, can do that. Drinking just a ton of water. Do I still have these pictures in my Google Photos? I know they're all on Facebook. I can't access Facebook on my phone because I don't have the app. I'm going to go back because I know sometimes I copied them onto my phone for a purpose, and thus they got added to Google Photos accidentally. Yes, when you do practice, like I said, your soreness is going to happen, but the soreness will go away. And if you're doing the same things you did last week and you're not sore or you're less sore, then yes, you're getting used to it and you're getting better. And yeah, when the soreness goes away, maybe turn it up a little bit. But right now, your body probably went from not running into people, not lifting other people, not having to run at your top speed over and over and over and over and over. You know, like my legs would be sore after running hills sometimes. Especially if Willie and I did legs that day. Google Photos has a lot of pictures saved.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm back to 2015. Of course, I started in 2018. I didn't bother thinking about any times I saved it to my phone now. Wait a second, I can search. It might not show me. .180 and you weigh 143 and you run the same speed as him, and he said I'm weaker because I'm way less than him, so I should be faster. Not necessarily. The problem is what he assumes is that all things being equal, you will be faster, which is true. If you had the same muscle mass as him, if you had the same muscle power and all that jazz as him, you would be faster because you have to move less mass. But he didn't lie. He just made a false assumption. And it's a lot of people do, you know, like our fullback is like, I'm 110 kilos. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm 100 kilos. He's like, I'm just going to truck you. And I'm like, you didn't truck me all practice. Shut up. Because, you know, he thought 10 kilos was, in terms of being a fullback, he's big for the Netherlands. But I also, you know, regularly throw my body against a heavy bag used for kickboxing. So, like over and over and over, sometimes 30 times at the gym. Not so much recently, but. Run, sprint training. For football, you want to work with like sprint training. Just find a long, not like a mile, but like if you can go to a free football field, yeah, first form and technique, ask someone to show you that one. I cannot do it here. The camera's crappy, I'm inside, yada yada. There's a number of tutorials on YouTube. Maybe I should do that for Thursday's video. Because I won't have practice on Thursday, so I could just do questions, news, and then give you guys a bunch of links towards things to help basic stuff. Okay. If we go to the gym and go to training, yeah. No, because you have to get yourself adapting faster and faster naturally. It's not quite that way. That's why I say, like, go to a field. If you have a football field, put some cleats on, go to the football field, start at the end zone, and just do like a 40 time. Run 50 yards. Run to the 50 line, just as fast as you can. Go back to the end zone, run 50. Just keep running that distance. You will eventually get faster. Form and technique does matter. Staying low, making sure that you keep, you know, yourself pretty low, and also don't try to stand up because that's a lot of flat space hitting wind. You want to be down a little bit. Try to focus on how they run the 40 at the combine. But yeah, it's just lots of repetition. It's much like muscle building. You're gonna just have to lift. Like, you want to have progressive overload, but there are times where you're gonna grow a lot of muscle at first, but then you're gonna be lifting the same plates for a while. You're not gonna have good days. Some days you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have good days and bad days, and some of your sprint stuff. And then yeah, they bend down. Yeah, that's also the start, but just starting with your like hand on the ground. You said you're a wide receiver. We're going with a wide receiver. How do you run faster? You get in your stance. You don't necessarily start from the 40-yard dash stance, but that's why they run faster, is because they start in that really low stance and then they just push forward and they don't have that wind resistance. Notice they're not fully like standing up until well past 30 yards for most guys. Sometimes the linemen that run really super fast, they're already up, but they've got the legs to just power through everything. And yeah, you'll get faster and you'll get faster. And eventually you're going to go. And if you time yourself, even a hand timer, you have to realize there's going to be imprecision in that. And if you're rich, maybe you can get yourself a laser timer. I don't know. But with other things, you've got, like I said, but it's just when you're hitting a cap, you are going to make very small incremental things. This is why I've seen with like people training for the combine, or even getting into a college combine or to get college stats, they will literally just run in the off season. They'll get done with their senior year or their junior year, and they will spend all spring running.
You were right, they're chicken.
The chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
And they may take it from a 4.5 to a 4.48, 0.02 seconds. And they just ran 50 times. And then the next day they run it again, and yeah, you should just run over and over. Also, what can help with getting faster is artificially increasing your difficulty. What I mean by that is a football field is flat, basically. Running will help with that because it'll force your body to figure out how to get the oxygen out of. Do I still do my ladder drills at practice? I was gonna order a longer ladder because the one I have has 4, and I at least like to do 8. 4 little things, and I at least like to do 8. And I don't want to buy another one because it's big and it's awkward. I was just gonna go order ones very specifically. The fields out there are almost complete. They're turf. So I was just going to utilize those because they're like right there. I can see when they're not being used. And I say turf because they're like artificial grass sticking out of sand, kind of. But when you get tired, that's fine because your heart is a muscle. So getting it used to pumping harder with also, it gets your brain and your muscles to work with less oxygen. Sort of, again, training your body to do certain things is just repetition because the body is dumb. Your body's dumb and it doesn't learn the lesson the first time. So you got to keep doing it and eventually it'll figure it out. There's no real place to do them in the gym. It's a ridiculously cramped gym. If you're not able to breathe, you'll die.
Yes.
That's very true. But so here's the thing. When I would run hills with Willie, we would do minimum 10, maximum, but we always set a limit for that day. Was Willie in better shape than me? Yes. Did I ever do less reps than him? Only when we already fit our max and he was going to do more. But even then, sometimes, I think there was once I was like, I just can't. I can't do a 19th one. And he wound up doing 19 and 20. I think that happened once. But like the peer pressure got to me. But that's what I mean by artificially. But think about this. The more you run, eventually that'll be 29 seconds. And then it'll be 28 seconds. And then 27 seconds. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's the same thing with contact in football. At first, I am pretty safe to say that the first time you get hit in football, you are not ready for it. Nobody is ever ready for it the first time it happens. And the second time, they may know it's coming, but it's still a shock to them. And pretty soon, you've got linebackers. You're just running and you're just body slamming people. So there is a running track. I was thinking about picking up some different cleats just for the purpose of using it at that field. So cheap cleats from like Decathlon, but not like the cleats that I have with big things in them, because that's not good turf out there. It's not the turf in the States, and it's not pure grass. It's shitty turf. So I would go and get those like field hockey kind of cleats where they have raised bumps on the bottom, I guess. What's my fastest 40? I was timed at 4.7, but that was years ago. That was years ago. I haven't been tested here. It doesn't matter. And that's been a huge weight off my system, is that, yeah, there's some stuff. You know, there's obviously a receiver, slot receivers, cornerbacks, you're going to want to have the speed. And as a linebacker, I could definitely have the speed, especially when I have to dump out to the flats to run after a fullback. Thankfully, he's tubby and slow. He hits really hard. Honestly, I wish you could meet me in real person, in real life too, because then you'd be in Amsterdam. But yeah, with that sports complex, like I've already been unofficially out there because there's still a fence around it, but there's a break in the fence that the kids get industrious and want to go play on the field out there. So they liberate a section of the fence, and I'm just like, oh, look at that. I'm just going to walk in here. And I walked around inside. So it's a good, there's good field. There's a running track. There's a long jump track. There's, like I said, there's many areas for turf stuff. I can even use cones and like section off a small section for like agility stuff. And it's better than that other field I would go that I have near here, because that's basically fuzzy airport carpeting on concrete. It's good for children to play around in, or if you're using tennis shoes to play soccer, but it's not good for real athletics. Oh, I know they do. One of our outside linebacker says in Dutch, "De geur van success." Football players stink a lot when they sweat. Me, it's the geur van success. The Dutch word for stink or smell is G-U-E-R, geur. I have my mouth full. I can't do a G, but him is, you know, the smell of success. But yeah, no, I know they stink. I so know they stink. But yeah, like I said, I could section off a small thing. Go back, look at some of my old videos and redo those. But the thing is my old videos still stand as good ladder videos. There's no real reason to redo them for YouTube. It's not like ladder drills change. The same ladder drills Willie was doing when he was in, you know, this was like the early 2000s. It's the same ladder drills that he was doing in semi-pro in 2015. It's the same ladder drills I'm doing with the Hurricanes in the Netherlands in 2021. So to be the fastest person in the world actually takes a little bit different style running. There are actually types of running. Now, Usain Bolt is really good at a very small section of he's very good at a very small section of the running spectrum. That dude could not do the marathons. But just like the marathon folks, they can't compete with him on the thing. So, and football running is different than the 100-yard sprint, or 100-meter sprint, or the 200-meter sprint. Mainly because he's sprinting 100 meters as absolutely fast as he can. When in football are you sprinting the field? Kickoff? Kickoff starts at the 25 or the 35. Even if you're on kickoff team, you're running 60 yards. Assuming you go from the 30, ball gets kicked, and you run to the 30. Well, that's even 40 yards because it's 30, 40, 50, 40, 30. So like 20 to 20. That's 60 yards. You know, and Usain Bolt is running in a dedicated lane. He doesn't have to worry about people wearing plastic and steel trying to injure you. So he's running 100 meters or 100 yards. We'll just say that. He's running 100 yards in under 10 seconds. But can you imagine if he had to do that in full football gear with someone trying to hit him to stop him from running that and maintain the agility of trying to run after a person who's trying to dodge where they're going, the kick returner. Football's a little different. You can be fast, but without agility as a wide receiver, you're not going to get anywhere. Willie was fast. He was squirrely as that dude could break a corner's ankle and still get deep. So don't think that being fast, just because the other guy says, "Oh, you're just as fast as me. You should be faster." Is he agile? You know, can he stem his route very well? Can he even do a 5 and in, or is he just like, I'm going to run really fast in a straight line, or is he being a fullback? Really fast straight line, Hulk smash, man. Like, you got to look at that. Football is a very specialized sport. They have a penchant for it. Sorry, that's a weird word. They have a leaning towards being more physical. Like, there's a reason. Like, I understand there are, people are like, that there are certain classist natures within the United States that force people into doing certain things. But the African gene for Black people does impart a bit more physical characteristics. Hands down. Just like you're not, like, someone could say, have you met a skinny Samoan? I don't know if you've met a Samoan, but I lived in Portland. We had a lot of islanders. I could always tell the Hawaiians from the Samoans because the Hawaiians were short and squat, and the Samoans were tall and wide. They're just big. They're the All Blacks. Think about that. The rugby team. They're just brick shit houses. So, yes, they do have genetic benefits. But that's just genetic benefits. But like, you've got super strong linemen and super fast receivers. But the NFL cares about physical characteristics to the thing, like try to find people in the NFL under 6 feet tall. It's gonna be kind of hard to find. It's considering how many players are actually in the NFL versus how many of those players are under 6 feet tall currently. Yeah, you'll see that one. So people are like, I'm going to be in the NFL. I want to be in the NFL. I'm like, oh, you're 21 and you're 5'8". You're close to being done physically growing. You're not going to make it to the NFL because you're literally just too short. Like you would have to have some insane like football stats to get into that way. And there have been some people that are like 5'9" and running backs, and they freak everybody out because they're super short. Go ahead. Just keep asking questions. I will talk and talk and talk. So in that very specific case, you're talking about an aspect of the NFL I don't like. Politics. Not like Republican, Democrat, vote for this, vote for that. But there's such a thing as like office politics where people play their favorites. People want to have this. People want to have that. They want to have this player. They start working with like deals and stuff. So in NFL, does it depend on how good you are to be in the Patriots? No, but yes. There are a lot of people that grew up in the Boston area who born, raised, high school, they even went to a college up in that area, a nice D1 college. And they think, oh, I'm going to get, I got into the draft. I'm going to be drafted into the NFL and I'm going to play for the Patriots. And then they get shipped off to the Rams. They play for 4 years in Los Angeles and they're like, okay, fine, I'm retiring. I'm beat up out of this when they never played in the Patriots, despite the fact it was their dream team. Because there's an upper level of like chess that you don't have control over. That's why I figured why you picked the Patriots and I just picked the biggest city. You could have lived slightly outside in one of the suburbs, but I picked Boston because, yeah. But yeah, that's one to play. And it's always one of the like hero fun stories that the NFL or CNN or whatever news things wants to do, ESPN, that says, oh my God, well, he grew up in Indianapolis. He watched his family as generations of Colts fans. I don't know how you get that one, but whatever. They're Colts fans. And now he went to college. He went to a college across the country, but now he's finally playing for his hometown team. And it's a hero story because it doesn't happen. No. I have been to the airport while I was transferring from Portugal to Jacksonville. I didn't leave the airport. The only thing I can really say about Boston as I was flying into it, there is a lot of wasted space in that city. He's over there nodding because we're like flying in, but like, oh my God, why? Why is that there? Is that like around on the thing? Because I know Boston more or less sits like, because like this, like there's this whole area up here because Boston Harbor is the harbor a lot. Yeah, it's definitely get battered by those rare hurricanes that come in. What do you mean, Boston Harbor? When I went to high school, we learned about the Boston Tea Party. Whenever I meet a British person, I always like, "Are you gonna go home and have a cup of harbor drink?" And they just they look at me because I'm like, "Yeah, we threw your tea in the harbor." Talking about train station? I'm playing. Oh, I just leveled up. I'm playing Train Station 2. But yeah, no, on one previous one, I have one of my subscribers who lives in Boston. We were talking about the tea. It was on the video last Friday. Not the one that recently went up, but the one that I missed practice because our entire countrywide train station went down. Yeah. Matt was like, "Oh, that's just a typical day in the tea." I'm like, "You guys have citywide outages?" Because I knew it wasn't statewide. I mean, I joked that it was statewide, but it would obviously be metro-wide. You just have daily metro-wide outages like that? Like people, like I was talking to one of our line coach, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't remember that ever happening." I was like, when your Gen X football coach doesn't remember the entire train system in the Netherlands ever going down. I know that Boston is surrounded by water. I've seen it on a map. I can only live below sea level. Yeah. So, well, my specific apartment is not below sea level, but the base of the building would be. I think my neighborhood sits 3 meters below sea level,
Roughly.
roughly like that. I keep forgetting because like 3 meters is about my ceiling.
Mhm.
So like the first floor would be flooded with ocean water, and parts of the skate park would be poking out. It's at 2. I have to be at Sport Park Sloten at 12:30. And considering how the Dutch be the Dutch, they're going to be getting there not at that time. So Sunday 12, be there at 12:30. Scrimmage starts at 2. So, yeah. And then it will go until 4. And then Aaron and I are probably going to grab tram out to Porterhouse. Yeah. Jesus Christ, Nick, shut up. You showed up to one practice and now you're the talk of the town. Told Frank today, I'm not sure who likes to listen to his voice more, Donald Trump or Nick. He just did that head turn at me. Like, I know. I'm bored. Yeah, no, it's 7:55 for me. I'm eating chili cheese bites. No, I'm not like this, but like that, and then that. But then don't hold your hand rigid. You just want to have this sort of thing going on. It's a shitty diamond, but it's still a diamond. And as it comes in, don't do anything bad with this one. But as the ball's coming in, you cup around it and you grab the ball like that and you cradle it a little bit, but you don't, because if you hold your hands out, the ball's going to go down, even if you pull it in and whatnot. There's a rule that Willie likes to say, and many of my teams in the state said it. If you can't catch a ball without your gloves, you don't deserve your gloves. Your gloves are supposed to assist, not be the reason why. Yes, they help you catch the ball better because they are sticky. But you should be able to catch a ball in ideal circumstances, close to ideal. Obviously, if the ball is like super wet and stuff, you may not be able to catch it very well, but you still should be able to get close to catching it. But the idea is if you don't have good technique, you're not going to catch the ball anyway. And the gloves aren't going to help. The gloves are just sticky, which means the ball might not roll out of your hands, but you still have to catch it and wrap your hands around it and put your fingers on it. Don't try to palm it. Grab the ball. Forgot I have one. It might be a little flat. Okay, yeah, it's a little flat. From my long snapping days. But you want to catch the ball like this. You want to have, like, when you throw the ball, you want fingers, 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 your thumb around the other side. But when you catch, you want to have it come in like that. Make sense? And then, as a wide receiver, you catch it and tuck it. And then always put, it's one of the little tidbits I learned. Catch and tuck. And put your finger on the tip. Catch and tuck. Get that in your head. When you catch it, like if you're standing out in the middle of the field or something, you're throwing the ball up in the air, and you catch it, tuck it. And put your hand over the edge. Because when it's like this, you know, they have to come through and you know, because if it's possible, you catch the ball, then you tuck it. If you hold it close to your hand, it's going to be hard to knock out while you're running, especially if you're in traffic. Running backs, you do this thing. You do this 5 or 6 points of contact. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your chest. You basically cradle this thing. That's basically that. But if you got a football that's appropriate for your size, that's a legal adult sized football. I think you might use a junior. But yeah, just throw the ball. And when you get really good at catching it, just throwing it up in the air and catching it, throw it in a direction and run after it and try to get your eye-leg coordination so that you can think about moving without seeing where you're going, like typing on a computer. You don't have to look at your keys. It's muscle memory sort of thing. Why does it say 0 views? Well, it says 2 here for me. So as long as you're chatting, you're fine. The YouTube stuff is weird. Sometimes I've seen it say 0 when someone's talking. I've seen it say 9 and nobody's talking. I don't know. It does what it does. It tries its best. Technically. So definitely, I was in Boston. American football soys. SOIZE, soys. Like I said, there are different sizes. But like there is a youth ball and it's just a little bit smaller because their hands, that's the issue. Is it easier to catch? Yeah, because it's about the size your hands are. but like a high school varsity team is going to use a regular adult size. Like it'll use this size. You can see how that fits into my hand. But like, I think our guys at like 15, 16, because they're basically high schoolers, they also use the same adult balls. But I know because here it's not a big deal because nobody, you know, there's not much in the youth league. They're like 14 when they start. I mean, even this ball feels a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be easy. Okay, so one of the makers of footballs, ages 9 and under, peewee, size 5, doesn't actually say what it is, but it says ages 14 and up is official size, size 9, according to Baden Sports. Let's put Wilson in here. I might have a, is that the Wilson ball? But yeah, like peewee football is meant to fit the hands of ages 6 to 9. Those are sometimes seen as like dressed up Nerf balls because they're small. Junior goes ages 9 to 12. Youth size is for 12 and 14. So again, you may be using those. These balls are close in size to the official college balls and meet the needs for experienced players. At this age, players grow quickly and the size of the football fits those developing hands. It's just, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit smaller than a regular one, but yeah. So if you're gonna get your own ball, you're probably not going to want to get official size because this is going to be for the adults. You would want to pick up junior or youth, but it should say on the package. It should say for ages 12 to 14 or something like that, and just, you know, pick up that ball, and that should be okay as long as you inflate it to the right size and stuff, and it's not overly. And maybe that was part of the problem. You know, maybe your hands are slightly smaller than they should be for that age. It's, as we discussed earlier, you're going through a weird Transformers transformation. Maybe in a month, your hands are going to be, you're like, oh man, this is really easy. My hands are so big because your hand just went, and you're like, ah. Suddenly you have these super long fingers like you're some skeleton from the Nightmare Before Christmas or something, you know, and your arms are like hanging out here. You're like, oh my God. And then suddenly it's like, and then your shoulders move out. It's just, it's because like I said, one of our youth guys, he came up to here on me, and he was like middle 15 is what he called it. And I was like, dude, it's called 15 and a half. Oh, okay. But that would be, I'm close to 16. I'm like, whatever, shut up. He was not quite good at his English, but he came up to here. That was before Corona. 2 years later, he's up to here. Like he and I are looking eye to eye, and he's gained weight, and he's, you know, a little bit shorter than me, and he's like 16, 16, 17 years old, and his voice dropped in comparison to what it was. But that's the thing is, everybody's body grows differently for puberty. So everybody looks weird. Nobody, this is one of those things, wrap up this piece of knowledge, right? Wrap up this sentence, stick it in a little chest and pull it out later. I remember when I was 13 and I saw this guy on the internet. He said, nobody in their teenage years is actually cool. They're all awkward and they're trying and they're just playing it off nicely. It may not make sense now. You'll probably agree with it right now, but it doesn't quite make sense. But when you're in your mid-20s, you're going to go, yeah, none of you are cool. I don't want Aaron to throw a football in the apartment.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. Aaron doesn't throw. He's not the athletic person. He's a computer geek. So he grew up with a lot of books and a lot of stuff. I did too, but I can. I could take one of my balls and head out when the fields open up. We're both nerds. Why do you?
I'm just a computer nerd.
He's a coder. No, it's fine. Yes. He works with coding. But like we bonded and fostered a relationship through World of Warcraft. Every morning I play Star Trek Online. We watch Star Trek shows and sci-fi on YouTube. We watch theoretical astrophysicists explain stuff to us that's way beyond us for the fun of it. I play football, and that's but that's a weird thing, is I want people to realize about football players. Just because you do football doesn't mean that's your only thing. If you like to sing, also sing. Willie is putting together a rap album, kind of sorts right now, and I'm waiting to tell you all about it. But he's like, "Oh, I'm not finished with it yet." I'm like, artists. But it's in the process of coming. So, like singing. You want to draw? Draw. You want to paint? Paint. You want to play video games? You want to be really good at video games? That's fine. But that's also the thing about my channel. I don't do just football. I have a life. I play video games. I'm going to geek out about Star Trek if something happens in Star Trek. So yeah, you can go. This might be a good idea. Nobody brings up anything here in a little bit. I'm probably just going to end and finish up food and go lay down. I'll catch you next Saturday, maybe. Dusseldorf is striking up a new franchise for the ELF. It's called the Rhine Fire. Must have just went through. Yeah, so the Vienna Vikings from Austria are joining the ELF. The Sparko Raiders from Austria are joining the ELF, and Dusseldorf is striking up its own team. There may be more announcements coming up, because the way their thing is set up, you're definitely going to want to have an even number of teams. And they had an even number before, and now they have an odd number. There may be another one of those going in my system. I was sweating so much today because of that forest.
Yeah.
Forest moisture. What's up, Thato? How's everything going? Oh, just Tato. Okay. It should have came into me because my name's Theo, but a lot of people here in Europe say Teo or Dio. They don't say Theo or Theo. I don't know why. Our Brits should, but no, they don't. They go with Teo. Some of my Dutch go with Dio. And I'm like, whatever. It's just your accent. Responding to Willie. Me taking one last look before I leave the party early and unannounced. He's like, every damn time. Me like, I just up and leave. I don't tell anyone. I don't look. I'm just like gone. Just like when we moved here, I was like, sorry guys, things are going crazy in my life. I can't continue playing with the team. 2 months later, I post to Instagram, heading out to Europe, guys. Bye, moving. Everyone's like, how did we not know? I'm like, none of y'all cared before. None of y'all asked for 2 months what was going on, or if you could help with my weird situation. And all of a sudden, now you care. That's why that one TikTok kind of rang really hard with me. It wasn't necessarily like, I understand that some people felt super guilty about things.
Yeah.
Like Kathy did, but video isn't available. He actually delete his account. Can't actually get back to that video. Dang. Your legs don't work. Coon was just a little too drunk when I showed him that video. He just like we were just hanging out and like he just like and then this is what he'd do. Like he'd look at me and that video would play in his head. Oh, I love this. Somebody captioned this for the Graz Giants. And it feels like the pussification of American football.
Excessive celebration. Offense number 87, smiling while scoring a touchdown, resulting in hurt feelings for the defense and potential negative future self-worth. That touchdown will be disqualified. That's a 15-yard penalty. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul.
Smiling at the defense.
so the other day we had the
Servus Jungs, veel geluk tegen de Vikings aan diesem Wochenende. Ich weiß, ihr habt sehr hart trainiert und seid bereit zu spielen. Gebt alles, was ihr habt und ich weiß.
Somebody doesn't speak. Oh my god! Even Aaron gets to take that one.
Dass ihr mit dem Sieg
It's just, oh, 8:20. We're good. I'm just gonna see you guys all next week. I'm gonna go chill out, drink a lot of water, and see if I pass back out, watch some TikTok. Yeah.